being able to put a bit of rope through the arm.
Hello Rolly, how are you? Right, we are going to do a liner today using a dragging flexi. I've got 1 metre prepared. The first thing we're going to do is show you how to put the rope for the inflation tube on the machine, which is as follows.
Go on.
Open that up. Come on Dave. Put the rope. Nope, there's a couple of holes in there, just thread it through. Turn it off now. Right, once you've tied the rope on, you can put 50 metres of rope on the basket. So therefore that will give you 50 metres of liner, inflation and 50 metres of rope. So wind that on. Faster. We're only putting a demo amount on at the moment, just to show you how it all works. I'll go straight into the liner. Now, what we're going to do is attach the liner, the inflation tube to the rope. Now usually you would put your 50 metre roll on of 4-inch or 6-inch inflation. Turn it off and take the call. Now what you do now is you attach the inflation tube to the rope. Go on then, using a couple of plastic cable ties, you fold both ends in. Try and do it as quick as possible so I can get it all on. Like so. It's important, this has to be as airtight as possible, and the way you do this is to make sure the plastic cable ties are as tight as possible. You only need to use 2. Nice and tight. Now what you also need to do, once you put these on, is then put plastic tape over the sharp ends of the cable ties to stop it cutting and piercing the inflation. Like so. More washing up,
I'll grab a bucket, I ain't got no money.
That's enough, just do that. So now, what we then do is we then roll that into the machine. But what you need to do, which we're not doing now, is to put either washing up liquid, squirt it on to the inflation, or a cooking oil, vegetable oil, to give it some sort of lubrication, to make it nice and slippy. So when it goes down in through the liner, there's no problem. The next thing you do is to put the end over the air inversion machine orifice. Because this is 4-inch, we're using the 4-inch end. If you unbolt this and you're using 6-inch inflation, you can use this opening. So you turn the inflation inside out, as so. You slide it over the end. It's an idea then to tape it all the way around, because you want to get this end as airtight as possible. Use a piece of old liner. just to protect the inflation as it comes out. You can, if you've got problems with sharp pipes or manholes, you can use a piece of liner as long as you want coming off here, so it's a guide into the run if you want to do that, and it protects the inflation. You clip, you then use the clip over the end and tighten it up. Cut. Now we're ready for a test. Make sure everything's airtight, close off the end, connect the air to the machine, fill up the cylinder. Cylinder is now full. You can then use the valve here, which will let air into the vessel, and as I do that, the inflation should automatically come out on its own. Check for leaks, make sure everything's okay, and if it's okay, then you can dump the air out the valve, use either the pressure release valve or that valve, and then you just wind it back in ready. Right, moving on to the chemicals. We're using a 3-part silicone mix today. Now, for 1 metre of liner, we would use 0.99, which is more or less a litre of resin, which is on the chart, which we supply to you, is on the internet. That 1 litre consists of 0.33 of part A being the white one, and 0.66 of part B. So basically it's a 2-to-1 mix, 1 being the part A, 2 parts B. And of that, we then, depending on the weather, which I should imagine what you should do is probably try at 1% first on the accelerator, the amount of accelerator you use, and then gradually work your way up so you're comfortable with the curing times. Now we use with part C, which is the accelerator. So if we was using 2%, it would be 2%. The A and C mix is then added to part B. So it's going to be 2% of part A. You got that? Cut. Right, part B, if we're using 1 metre, we put 0.66 of a litre